let's continue with comments. Comments are a great way to explain our code and make it easier to read. They can appear in many places within the class, including before or after the package statement, class definition, or even before, within, or after a method definition. Java supports two types of comments, multi-line comments and end-of-line comments. Multi-line comments, they're used for longer explanation or temporarily disabled block of code. So it starts with slash asterisk and ends with asterisk slash. Then we have end-of-line comment, used for short notes or quick explanations. Uh, Most of the time they start with slash slash, double slash, okay? And extends to the end of the line. So let's see some examples. Here we have a class inside comments package. So inside my class, I will create a instance variable. I will call this name. And next to it, I will write a comment. Simple comment. This will be a variable to store a person's first name. That's it. So this is a simple comment. Another example will be ID. So this will be um, six letter six letter ID generated by the database. So this is another type of comment. Also, like I mentioned before, we can use comments to disable some code. So I don't want this code to appear. So I just comment it. I just comment all this. Okay. Okay, let's continue with another example. We'll place here a comment. Maybe I will write Luis. Luis. Okay. Then I will initialize my string. This is a string literal, right? I will write here Fernando. Okay, Fernando. So what will be the result of this? Okay, let's check it out. Let's print this. Okay, this will be static. It will be static, and we can have access to it. So it will be print Fernando. Okay. If we print this, we will see Fernando. Java.comments, they begin with slash, double asterisk, and with asterisk slash. Most of the time you will see this type of comment above classes, methods, and fields to describe the purpose of behavior. Use specific tags to provide structure information such as parameters, type of return, throws of any exception, and author also. Okay, let's create an example of a java.comment, okay? So for that, we will create a public static method called print name. Print name, method will return uh, hello, hello name. Simple method, okay? So how do we create a java.comment? It's easy. First of all, we need to write slash, then double asterisk, enter. Then we have this. We have the param and return. What's going to be the param? This one, okay? So this is the parameter of this method, the method which is called print name. Okay, you can add a different information. For example, the name to include in the message. Okay. And what is this method going to return? Okay, this method going to return a greeting a message in the format of hello hello name, right? That's it. Okay, let's see this in action. Let's create our main method and let's print that. We are going to use this method, print name. Okay, let's call with Fernando. Okay, we see this, we will see hello Fernando. So the method is actually working, right? Okay, let's continue with class declaration. The declaration of a class is composed of the following parts. We have access modifier, non-access modifiers, class name, name of the base class, in case of this class is extending another class, right? Maybe implementing interfaces, because you implement an interface. Then we have class body. Within the class body, we have class fields, methods, and constructors. What is mandatory and what is optional? Mandatory, a keyword class. Whenever you create a class, you should always write class keyword. Then we have the name of the class. Then we have the body, the class body, which means they have the opening and closing curly braces. What is optional? The access modifiers, such as public, non-access modifiers, such as final. Keyword extends, because you extend a class. Then implements, you implement an interface. Okay? A class is like a blueprint that defines what an object is and what it can do. The attributes of an object are represented by variables, okay? Also called features. In its behaviors, what it can do is defined by methods. Methods or functions also. These are the actions that this class can do, okay? Think of a class as a design for a mobile phone. The design specifies details like the font screen size, color, memory. Those are attributes. And its functions like, for example, making calls or sending messages. Those are behavior. So we have attributes and behavior. Using this general one design, we can create multiple mobile phones, each based on the same blueprint with the same unique characteristics. The Java virtual machine uses a class to create objects, just like any model is used to create identical or similar items. Simply put, a class is like a template we use to create meaningful functional objects. I have found a very good example. Let's see a cookie cutter and a cookie, right? So this cookie cutter would be the class, right? And this would be the object. Okay, let's continue with class definition. A class definition begins with the keyword class. Let's remember, uh, Java is case sensitive, which means that class in lowercase is not the same as class in uppercase. The one we use is class in lowercase. Attributes state. The state of a class is defined using attributes or instance variables. Most of the time you will hear these instance variables. Okay, so attributes do not have to be declared before defining methods. By doing so, improves code readability. This means you can write any attribute before or after the method, but it's more appropriate to write this instance variable before the method. Okay. Behavior methods. Class behavior is defined using methods. So methods can include parameters to pass the data, but they can include, but it's not a prerequisite. So it's not a must that you have to add any parameter to that method in order to work. Additional element in class. A class can also include constructors, which are special methods to initialize the objects. Then this is the class font, which includes variables such as model, company, and weight. These variables are used to store in the state of an object. So we use this instance variable to store the state of an object. Because they represent specific details for each object, they're called instance variables. So remember, these little words, these are called instance variables. Then we have instance methods versus class methods. Methods like make call, receive call are instance methods. These methods are typically used to manipulate the instance variable. On the other hand, we have also class methods, but I think it's easier to understand if you say static methods. So these methods belong to the class itself. So you don't need to initialize an object in order to use that method, right? Then, constructors. The font class in the previous example includes a single constructor. So this is a constructor, okay? A constructor is a special method used to create and initialize objects for class. Classes can define multiple constructors, each accepting a different set of parameters, allowing flexible ways to create objects with various initial states. Okay, let's continue with our code example. let's create our phone class. First of all, let me create a package called phone. Inside our package, we're going to create a class called phone also. Okay, first we will have the instance variable. Okay, we have our instance variables. Then we have our constructor. We can have as many constructors as we need. That's why we call constructor overloading. Then we will create the methods. Okay, so for instance variable, we will have a string model, and also string company. Company. Also, maybe double. Wait. Wait. Okay, now we are going to create a constructor. So how can we create a constructor? Constructor. Constructor, I will use this model, only the model, which means whenever I initialize an object of type phone, I need to pass a model. Okay, so now I'm gonna create some methods. The method void make call. This method takes a parameter, which is a number, and this method returns and calling from calling the number is calling, right? The number is calling. Then we have receive call. This is also a void method, does not return anything. This is just receiving call, right? Okay, okay. Inside our main method, we will have two objects. Okay, so we have phone, phone one. Let's call it Apple. So in phone, okay. If you check it, it says you need to pass a parameter. What is the parameter? We already know that, right? Model. So we use Apple. Apple. Let's get another one. This is going to be Samsung. So like I told you before, this class is like a cookie cutter, right? We can create as many objects for that. Okay, so the class is our cookie cutter, and each object will be the cookie itself.